Thank you so much for coming. This must be once in a lifetime, right? Salutations, Eternal One. I mean, how often do you get to interview with a vampire? sorry, I need to calm down. Thank you for being so accommodating with the evening slot. Oh, and thanks for the blood pudding earlier on. That was that's no problem at all. I passed by Smithfield Market yesterday and thought of you coming on, so I hope you enjoyed it. It was delicious. What have you been up to today? I just woke up. Ah, yes, of course, you get up late, right? Then you came here? Yeah, pretty much. So I've got my questions lined up. You ready? Go for it. What's your favourite colour? Purple. Favourite piece of artwork? The Vampire by Edvard Munch. What annoys you the most? When other vampires can't remember how they died. How did you die, if you don't mind me asking? Distinctly I remember. It was in the bleak December. Something flew into my bedroom window and plunged their fangs into my neck, and then I died. And a cat jumped over my grave, and well, here I am. And I see you're a fan of Edgar Allan Poe. Who? Edgar Allan Poe. It's a line. Distinctly I remember. It was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. That's a line from The Raven, right? Edgar Allan Poe. Is it? Famously parodied in The Simpsons. Yeah. But anyway, so obviously there's people who don't believe in you guys, right? I mean, I always believed in you. In fact, when I was a kid, I used to pull the sheets up around my neck and close the curtains tight so that nothing could fly in and bite my neck. But, you know, there are some definite non-believers out there. Human beings can't really come to terms with the idea of something being undead. When they used to dig up coffins, they'd find the corpse in there looking healthier than it had ever done before. My auntie Veronica was dug up and she looked better than she ever had done in her whole life. And they put this down to the process of decomposition of the human body, the gases building up inside the corpse, forcing the corpse to look more bloated and swollen than it ever had done before. Of course, this is all just fascism, and the people that were dug up were vampires. We do exist, and I hope the bodies that were dug up ate well that night. I mean, I guess everyone's just trying to rationalize how you guys exist. It's a bit crazy that something that is alive is also dead. Or I mean, yeah, it's confusing. A lot of people were buried alive. So many people in Victorian times were buried alive that it was actually called taphophobia. And this actually gave rise to a whole wealth of coffins that had kind of inbuilt escape features that would enable someone to escape if they were buried alive, or at least make the whole process more comfortable. These safety coffins would have, you know, luxurious cotton padding. Some of them would have windows to somehow allow light to travel down. They'd have breathing tubes and feeding tubes and bells attached to the arms and ankles. Yeah, I mean, if you woke up in the coffin, you would be able to alert somebody. Are you okay? Sorry, do you have a tissue? And some of these bells were supposed to alert the cemetery guard, who would then run over with a pair of bellows and actually pump air into the grave until the person was actually exhumed or dug up. They were actually extremely popular, but there's no known record of them actually working. So yeah, it's incredibly sad when we get tarnished with this brush of it's just a corpse full of gas, just somebody who is buried alive. I mean, how insulting can you get? How insulting can you get? That must feel really, really crappy, you know, people wanting to kind of explain you away. There's definitely a few people out there trying to spread hate. Sign of the times. Definitely a few people out there who don't like us. Yeah, I can imagine. What kind of discrimination have you and your family experienced over the last years? Oh God, where do I start? My grandpa had a heart attack. Oh, I'm so sorry. Someone actually drove a stake through his heart, and this one was actually made from wood of aspen. It was believed that Jesus's cross was made out of aspen. So yeah, double whammy, absolutely awful. Oh gosh, that's really bad. The levels of persecution and disrespect are unreal. I mean, I guess so. A cousin of mine near Venice, many hundreds of years ago, died. And before she was buried, they forced a brick into her mouth to stop her from feeding when she came back from the dead. I mean, to ward off the threat of her becoming someone like me. True, but you guys kind of have a very cool rep legacy, don't you? I mean, you're always depicted as so good looking and svelte and sexy. Interview with the Vampire, Twilight, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The list goes on. Yeah, I love the portrayal in Let the Right One In. Before all the pop culture references of today, we have a very long old legacy. Attestations in medieval European folklore. Blood-drinking demons are depicted on Persian pottery. Ancient Babylonia had Lilitu, which was obviously connected with Lilith in Hebrew demonology. Lilith was a really naughty one. She drank the blood of babies and pregnant women. To be honest, I only drink the blood of adult humans, but different strokes for different folks. I mean, if I was hungry enough, it might change the picture, but otherwise, no. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm just starving. Not long to go now. Guess it's the price to be paid for eternal life. How do you feel about the whole immortality thing anyway? As long as you avoid sun, garlic, and get lots of human blood, it's kind of pretty plain sailing for you guys, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've got mixed feelings. I've got mixed feelings about it. You know, sometimes I enjoy it, but some things are more precious because they don't last long. What is your worst fear? The idea of a holiday in Tenerife sends shivers down my spine. Favourite hobby? I really enjoy counting seeds. Ah yes, actually I've heard there's some association with vampires having arithmomania, which is like an obsession with counting things in your kind of vicinity, right? It was parodied very cruelly in Sesame Street, I thought. More hate though, isn't it? Sign of the times. Yeah, I mean, you keep using the word hate, but I guess I'm wondering if it really is, considering humans have a really good reason to fear you guys. I mean, is it hate if it stems from fear? Maybe the root cause of all hate is fear. Okay, well, without mentioning that you've derailed the conversation by making a pithy remark, I can agree with you to some extent. Kind of like in the school playground where a kid gets picked on because they're different, but maybe the reason they are getting picked on is because the bully and their comrades fear being the person who will get picked on, so they make someone else a target before they become a target themselves. I guess that stems from fear, insecurity. I like you. Okay, so we'll leave it there. I'm really, really honoured that you had time to come into the show and grace me with your presence. I mean, I doubt I'll ever get this opportunity again. No, you're right. You won't.